So who's seen? No, no, right, don't worry. So who's seen The Imitation Game, the film? So you know all about Alan Turing, don't you? Alan Turing, good. I've always been fascinated with his life and his work, and you know he's the maths genius that worked at Bletchley Park and helped crack the Nazi codes, and ultimately is considered to be the father of modern computing. We were looking for someone to support charity-wise, someone that would allow us to do something useful with all the hundreds of computers that our customers and ourselves part with every year. And it was a surprise to discover that there is a charity called the Turing Trust, which is connected, as the guys will explain, through the late Mr. Turing. There's a real myth about Alan Turing. Are you going to tell this story, or shall I tell a story?
Which one?
The Apple one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? Yeah? Do you might tell
well,
it?
Apple deny it, but Alan actually put cyanide inside an apple and bit it, and that's how he does that. Allegedly. We don't, depends who you talk to what answer you get. But it's said that Steve Jobs, who owns the hero of the iPhone, obviously bought Apple.
Good story, isn't it? Jobs denied it, didn't he?
Yeah, he
but
did.
then of course he was a man who would change stories just to get a little bit of extra publicity. Really good. Anyway, so we've done very well. We've currently got about 60 PCs that we've managed to collect for these guys, and as you know, we've put a small donation, an optional donation, on the bottom of your direct debits. And the result of that is we're raising over £1,000 a month for the Turing Trust. So what I'd like to do, please, is hand over to Jade and Ollie, and they can tell you all about their work.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, please. We'll start with a video rather than telling you what we do. We'd like to show you what we do in the UK and in Africa, and then we'll show you a little bit more about what your money's gone towards. So, without further ado.
And also, he's Ollie, I'm Jane.
Yes. And we're going to have to endure listening to our own voices on video now. So. So hopefully that gave you a bit of a better idea of what we do. But just briefly, we started in 2009. My best friend founded it after going to Ghana on a volunteering trip and realizing that actually there was a lot that he could do. Right now, there's 61 schools in Ghana that we work with, 34 of which now have computer labs, which we've built for them. We've got 12 pilot projects in Malawi based on the experience we've had in Ghana and the success we've had. We're going into Malawi to see if it can work there, and 2 in Kenya.
So basically, we're going to kind of tell you about us and Expert Agent. So kind of what Mike alluded to is it all started with a phone call. Well, actually started with an email. So we found this email from Mike, and it was really interesting. So we gave him a call, and we kind of had a few ideas. Both of us, I don't really think, knew where to start. But we were really excited to kind of find each other, because I know that Expert Agent really wanted to find someone, you know, to support. And obviously, as a small charity, we're always looking for people who are really passionate and kind of want to make things happen. So started with one phone call, and then we probably had many phone calls after that. And actually, we're going to talk to Mike later about really how we made it all happen. Because now Expert Agent are one of our biggest supporters. And what it really is the ongoing support. That's what is just been mind-blowing to us, that this is something that's ongoing now, and we can, you know, rely on these donations, which are just amazing. So yeah, it started from a simple £1 opt-in, which obviously you guys know about, and we've been able to do so much. So we're going to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully £1 on your monthly direct debit is nothing to you, but to us it's meant £5,678, with which we've been able to do an enormous amount in our operations in the UK, but moreover in our operations in Africa.
One step. Yeah. Okay, so the first donation was actually given to our Global Giving Challenge. So this was the first online fundraiser that we ever did with a company called Global Giving, who are doing some awesome stuff with charities, especially small ones like ours. And basically, the first load of direct debits got given to us through this platform, and it was absolutely amazing. You were able to help us increase the donations by 20%, which is just amazing. We reached over our goal by that much. And it really inspired a lot of people to kind of get on board with us. We've got a lot of new donors who are, you know, also doing ongoing support. And I think it was the push that we needed to really make that fundraiser happen. And also, it's just done some amazing things. So what we've actually focused on is IT training. So we obviously give all of this equipment, but it's useless if we kind of don't do anything with it. So we make sure that we give trainings in country. And what's been really special about the trainings we've been doing recently is we've been adding along a lot of new stuff to it. And it's really inspired the teachers. So a lot of our teachers have gone back to their rural towns and villages, and then they've been meeting up with other teachers and doing other trainings, which is just snowballed massively. So we're reaching even more people than we expected to, which is really, really exciting. So it's something that we're going to focus on in the future, and your money is helping us do that. So here's some of the pictures from there.
Yeah, one of the, I told you about the software package that we offer in the video. Essentially what it is it's a 32 gigabyte file which you can load onto any computer, including the kind of salient points of Wikipedia and a lot of really good math and science tuition videos. So in areas where the teachers are struggling to find some resources to teach from, they've got these computers in their kind of one-stop shop. Whereas we might have the internet, but internet tends to be quite expensive.
What you've been able to help us with next is our biggest ever shipment. So as you saw in the video, we're now sending containers worth of equipment out to Ghana. At the moment, we're going to be moving into Malawi and Kenya next year, so that's exciting. But in March was our first ever container shipment, and we sent 392 computers and laptops, plus all the peripheral equipment that goes with it, as you know. And then in October, we managed to send 2 containers with 691 computers and laptops, which is just mind-blowing in just 1 year. And, obviously double the amount of containers means double the amount of shipping costs. And you were able to help us make this happen rather than having all of our equipment stuck in Edinburgh, which is where we do most of our operations. So it's really exciting, and we expect these donations to keep flooding in, and the more computers we send out, the more schools are able to help, and then obviously the more students are able to learn IT and have better employable skills. So that's awesome. And this is a lovely picture of inside our container with some of our volunteers. It's really cool because in Edinburgh we have a lot of different volunteers. So this guy here, he's from a local Rotary Club, and he's, I think, 76 or something. Yeah, and he's amazing, and I think he probably lifts more than the students in the back do. So, and then, yeah, we're connected to the University of Edinburgh, so we've got a really big volunteer team, and we're always looking for more volunteers, like all over the country. So that's something we'll talk to you about later. And lastly, coincidentally, you have helped us move as estate agents. Basically, knowing that we've got these ongoing donations, we've now been able to move into a much bigger, much better facility. We were actually in a shopping unit before, and it was a closed unit, so kind of didn't have a public image at all. It was just a space that we could use. And now we're in the centre of Edinburgh, and all of our volunteers are able to get to us really easily. There's perfect space for storage for all of our operations. If you're ever up in Edinburgh, then you'll have to give us an email, because everyone's always welcome to come and see what we're kind of doing up there, wiping machines, packaging things, and it's quite exciting. So yeah, we were able to do that, and that's going to be something that's really, really going to change how we run, in the next year. So that's really cool.
One thing we wanted to talk to you was about is how you can continue to help. Please, please, please continue with your £1 donations per month. As you've seen, that's had a huge, huge effect. But there's so much more than you can do. If you want to get involved with your time, if you want to help us out online, or even if you'd ever like to come up to Edinburgh and really see, or perhaps some of you are from Edinburgh, and really see what we do on the ground, or better still, come to Ghana, Malawi, or Kenya. We would love to kind of have you along. Your generous donations will continue to bring what we do up to a bigger and better level, definitely. There's also just spreading the word, get the Turing Trust name out there beyond that of just Alan Turing. We want everyone to know that it's the legacy of Alan's. Source computers from us. I'm sure that there's a few computers sitting in the attic somewhere, or perhaps you have friends who are regularly changing their kit, or even better, your agencies themselves. They go through a rigorous destruction of all personal data. There is no chance that anything's going to be recoverable. The software is then loaded on, and they're shipped out. In a kind of useful word, tweet us. We're at Turing Trust, or like us on Facebook, so you can keep up to date. And check out the website. If you go to turingtrust.co.uk, sign up to the mailing list. We'll let you know what's going on. There's a nice little news feature in there, and you'll be able to see a lot more about the software that we load, the schools that we work with, interviews with people in Ghana. It will really kind of help you connect with who we are. And as we said, volunteering with us is something that Jade would love to tell you more about.
So we're always looking for dedicated and passionate people to support us, and obviously that's what we're so happy to have found with Expert Agent. And if there's anyone in the audience who is looking to do something, anything, volunteering with a small organisation like the Turing Trust means that you can really kind of get involved. And we've heard from the speakers today that there's a lot of skilled people with different expertise that charities are always looking for. There's always a helping hand, is never going to be turned away. And if you want to donate time or anything else, just advice or anything, then that's obviously amazing. And we always want to have people who are just as passionate about education as us. So that's that. Thank you for listening. Thank you so much, and thank you for everything you've done.